Namo Doi Savariyantam, Namo Doi Savaridanam, Namo Doi Savayiriyam, Namo Doi Savjayam, Namo Doi Savrivavati Savanam, Omkara Mindu Sanyukta Nityam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Shri Omkaraya Namo, Manganam Bhagavanayo, Manganam Gopamo, Manganam Kunsundari, Ujendram Bosu, Manganam Namasamari. Swanubhutya Jatha Sthiti Swadhay Bhavaya Sarvama Vibhava Nidata.
Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Ariyantam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Vajjanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhyayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Shiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Ajnanatimirandhanam Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarvatene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvaniyaka Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamel Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Ho Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamay Kare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathi Are Jam Netra Te Maj Jnana Nati Karaka Nathi Vedaka Are Jane Jakarmodaya Nirajara Bandhate Maj Mokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Shri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jaydina, I'm sorry, I was when I started, it just went on a different meeting ID, so that was a problem. It was my problem, my fault. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so if we are talking, today is December 7, 2016, and we are talking about Samaysar. We are doing the prelude for the stanza 11, and so we are trying to understand the Vyavarnai and Nishchaynai. So we have gone through lots of detail, and now we have started with each Vyavarnai, and thereafter we'll be starting with each Nishchaynai. 4 Vyavarnai and 4 Nishchaynai. So we have to have total 8 divisions to go through. We have gone through 2 divisions, so we'll be starting with the 3rd one. So I will start sharing the screen, and Microsoft Excel, share screen. Okay, so we are starting with the 3rd one, Upcharit Sadbhut Vyavarnai. That's what we'll be starting now, and I'm going to make it a little bigger. Okay, so we are going to start with the Upcharit Sadbhut Vyavarnai. We have finished Upcharit Asadbhut Vyavarnai, Anupcharit Asadbhut Vyavarnai. Now we are talking to Upcharit Sadbhut Vyavarnai. So what exactly it is? We've already gone to detail about Upcharit, Anupcharit, Sadbhut, Asadbhut, so there is no need to do any revision. So we are talking Upcharit Sadbhut Vyavarnai, what it is. So it says figurative, empirical point of view, expressing difference between a virtue and virtuous one. Means it shows difference between alien belonging virtue and the virtuous one. Upadhi sahitna gun and a guni. It shows the relations between the differences between those two. Now, number one, why it's upcharit? Because it's called figurative. Why it's sadbut? It's called pure synthetic. Why it's vyavahar? Because empirical point of view. And why it's nay? It's part of the spiritual knowledge of a right knowledge. So we have the definition of upcharit sadbut vyavahar nay. Basically, the impurity occurring in my mode. Remember, I have all the attributes within me, and those attributes, some attributes, out of those infinite attributes, some attribute can be possibly have a mode of a pure form, or it can also have mode of the impure form. And Upcharit Sadbut Vyavarne will show the relationship between the impure mode of the attribute with the soul. So, just going for make it short, it shows the relationship between Rag and the eternal soul. It shows inclination of attachment along with the soul. What is the relationship? That's what it shows. So that is your Upcharit Sadbut Vyavarne. Upcharit because it is away. Away means, of course, Rag occurs within me. Rag is occurring, but because it can be removed, it can be taken. For example, I'm angry right now. How long the anger will last? Minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 days. But then what? Then that anger has to dissipate. It has to get relieved from me. So because it is occurring within me, but it can be taken care of. It can be removed. Because it's removed, that's why it's called Upcharit. Figurative. Why it's called Sadbut? Because it is actually occurring in my soul substance. Me as a soul substance is creating anger. This phone is not going to create the anger. This piece of paper is not going to create the anger. It's just me, the soul, conscious being makes the anger, or anger, deceit, ego, greed, etc. And that's why it is Sadbut. Sadbut means it's a pure synthetic. So because it's occurring within me, but it can be removed, so it's a Upcharit. Occurring within me, Sadbut, can be removed, Upcharit. So that thing is happening in a Upcharit Sadbut Vyavarne. What's the subject matter for this Upcharit Sadbut Vyavarne? Well, the Shamik Bhav and Audaik Bhav, these are the subject matter for this night. Now, the two new words are thrown over here, Shamik Bhav and Audaik Bhav. What is Audaik Bhav? Means Audaik means soul's inclinations born as a result of manifestation of a karma is the subject of this night. For example, in the past, I have acquired knowledge obscuring karma. I have acquired deluding karma. I have acquired obstructive karma. I have acquired Jnanavan karma, Darsanavan karma, Mohaniya karma, Antara karma in the past. Now, those karma come in fruition in this life. So, deluding karma, knowledge obscuring karma, perception obscuring karma, obstructive karma, those are the karma. Jnanavan, Darsanavan, Antara, Mohaniya karma, they come in Uday in this life. When the karma comes, give me fruition, at that time, I join in that fruition with my own wish and will. I'm the conscious living being. I have my own way of working, and in this form, when there is a fruition of the previously bonded karma, I join with them. I join. This karma didn't say that you come and join with me, but I, with my own intention, join with the fruition of those karma. And that is called Audayic Bhav. That is called Audayic Bhav. Bhav means inclination. Audayic means my soul's inclination occurring as a result of joining with the fruition of the old karma. Fruition of the old karma is coming, and I join voluntarily. I join voluntarily. That's why it's called Audayic Bhav. So this karma, this Naya, this partial point of view depends on the fruition of the old karma. Number one. It also says Kshayopshamik. Kshayopshamik is what? Disposition come destruction, comes subsidence of karma. Now, this is a very, this word itself, Kshayopshamik word itself can talk, we can talk almost for 1 hour, which we are not going to do it right now. But in general, there are certain karma, when they come in fruition, they are called Kshayopshamik Bhav. For example, knowledge obscuring karma, Gnana Varniya karma. Darshana Varniya karma, perception obscuring karma, or Antray karma, obstructing karma. These three karma, these three parts of karma, they come in a varieties of intensity. And that varieties of intensity of fruition is called Kshayopsham. Once again, knowledge obscuring karma coming in fruition, it can come in a full blast or it can come in partial intensity. So when the intensity is reduced for this fruition, that's called Kshayopsham. So karma coming in fruition with certain varieties of intensity, that's called Kshayopshamik Bhav, and I join with them voluntarily. I join with the fruition of karma voluntarily, and that is called Kshayopshamik Bhav. Actually, somewhere on the line, we'll be taking those 5 inclinations, 5 bhav. Kshayik Bhav, Kshayopshamik Bhav, Upsham Bhav, Audayic Bhav, Paramparnamik Bhav. And somewhere on the line it will come. But right now we are talking of Kshayopshamik Bhav and Audayic Bhav. They both mean fruition of karma with varieties of intensity, and I join in that fruition. I don't have to, but reflexly I join with them. It's my weakness. It's a soul's problem. Soul creates this problem by joining with the fruition of the old karma. So this joining inclination of the soul with the fruition of karma is called Kshayopshamik and Audayic Bhav. So this is the subject matter for this night. Now let's talk a little bit more detail. There is a fruition of karma coming, and I join and I showed my anger, deceit, ego, greed, inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, ignorance. All those things I do it myself. The soul is doing it by itself. Soul doesn't have to do it, but soul ends up doing it. Because since time infinite, that's all I have done is to join into the fruition of karma, joining with the fruition of karma. It is so reflex that it becomes kind of quote unquote natural thing for the soul. There's a fruition of karma, you just join it. Fruition of karma, you just join it. You don't have to. You don't have to. Siddha Bhagwan doesn't join with the Siddha Bhagwan. He has a pure inclination only. Aryan Bhagwan has a pure inclination. When the soul with the fourth Gunsthanak, fifth Gunsthanak, sixth and seventh Gunsthanak, they have varieties of intensity to join. Their intensity is so weak that as if they don't join at all. So, what is subject of this night? It's a Kshamik Bhav and Audayic Bhav. Now, next thing, soul's associative inclination. Sanyogi Bhav is the subject of this matter. Remember, what's the subject? Soul has associative inclination. This is the fruition of karma here. And soul associates with that. Soul has an inclination, it's called associative inclination. Soul does not have to do it, but it ends up doing it. So associative inclination is Sanyogi Bhav. And that is the subject of this night. Other thing it says, soul's auspicious and inauspicious inclination is the subject of this night. Means when I have a punya bhav or pap bhav, I have auspicious inclination, I have inauspicious inclination. That is the subject of this night. Which night? Upcharit, Sadbhut, Vyavarnik. Figurative, empirical point of view. That's a night. So we understand the subject. Now what happens? What is it? There is association of karma relationship with this night. Karma fruition is there. Karma fruition is occurring independent of anything. Karma by themselves come in fruition. Nobody asked them to do it. It is their own way of doing it. So karma comes in fruition. And the present night that we are talking has a relationship, association with this karma fruition. Now what happens? As a result, it produces misery to the soul because it does not give permanent happiness to the soul. There is a karma fruition occurs. I join, I end up with the anger, I end up with the deceit, I end up with the ego, I end up with the greed. All those things I end up doing it when I'm looking at the karma fruition. Karma fruition did not ask me to look at them. I volunteer myself to join in that with that inclination. So that what happens. And why? This is the karma fruition, and I'm joining. When I'm joining in the karma fruition, then that means I'm going away from my real true nature of the self. And so that way, when I'm joining the karma fruition, it always produces misery. It produces misery. It produces unhappiness. Let's presume that let's say that I have extra money today, and I decided I went crazy and I said I would like to buy a new car, and I bought a new car. I bought a Tesla. Now, am I happy or not? I was looking for it. I got it. Am I not happy? Well, the scripture says no. If happiness comes from that car, if happiness comes from the house, if happiness comes from money, if happiness comes from family, that means your happiness is dependent on outside objects. And happiness cannot be dependent on an outside object because happiness is within. Soul has a characteristics, soul has an attribute of happiness, and so happiness comes within, not from outside things. But if I eat a good food, I'm happy. If I had a nice car came to me, I'm very happy. If I'm healthy, I'm very happy. If my family is great, no, it's a perceived happiness. And that perceived happiness is followed by misery, ultimately. I love my loved ones. Suppose there is a demise of that loved one occurs. What happens to me? I'm unhappy. I love my car, went in an accident and got damaged. What happens? I'm unhappy. So those are the things. The outside material thing can never, never, ever, ever make you happy. It's happiness because happiness is within. I have to look happiness from within inside. So that's what happens. Now, what happens here in this Naya? It explains obligation of a living being at a given stage of his spiritual development. Bhumika anusar kartavya. Another, in this one, several big words are coming, and we are going to get accustomed to those words. What happens if I'm on the first spiritual developmental stage? I'm on a mithyatva gunsthanak. Somewhere on the line we'll take gunsthanak also, but right now I am on the first spiritual development stage, which is called mithyatva, which is called wrong belief. Means I always look for happiness from outside. I always look for happiness from outside objects. So then my obligations are dependent on alien objects of the universe. I had to keep friendship with the politicians because I may need help someday. I have to have a relationship with my neighbor because sometimes they are going to help me out. And so this kind of, because I have the wrong belief, spiritual development stage, so I depend on outside material objects and alien objects, and so my obligations also will be there. Now suppose I have the fourth spiritual developmental stage, means I obtain samyak darshan, means now I know me, I am the happiness, I'm full of happiness within, and material objects are associative things. They will never bring happiness from me. So my obligation to the outside material object will become less. Then I further go on my spiritual ladder, and I go to sixth and seventh spiritual development stage, which is called monkhood. When the soul becomes accept the monkhood, then his obligations are extremely limited to the outside material world. He is engrossed within himself all the time, and so his obligations to the outside world will be next to none. And Aryan Bhagwan, he has no relationship with the outside material world at all. So that's what it says, that obligation of a living being at a given stage of a gunsthanak. It shows the inclination of attachment and aversion, that means rag and dvesh of the living being at different stages of gunsthanak. For this bullet to understand, we have to have some knowledge about the deluding karma. Deluding karma are the most important karma out of all the karma. And once I destroy deluding karma, then basically I win over all the karma. Now, so what happens here? The increase of attachment and aversion, rag and dvesh, there are four different types are described in this deluding karma. Anantanumandi krodh man maya lobh, अप्रत्याख्यानावरण क्रोध मान माया लोभ, प्रत्याख्यानावरण क्रोध मान maya लोभ, sanjvalan क्रोध मान maya लोभ. They are foreign words for us right now, but in general, when I'm on a first spiritual development stage, all this anger, deceit, ego, greed of four types, anantanumandi, apratyakhani, pratyakhani, sanjval, times anger, deceit, ego, greed. All 16 things are present within me. Means I have an intense anger, deceit, ego, greed on the first spiritual development stage. Once I finish that stage, then I have only three remaining: apratyakhana, pratyakhana, and sanjvalan kashai. Apratyakhana varan, pratyakhana varan, sanjvalan, krodh, man, maya, lobh, anger, deceit, ego, greed. So when I have those three remaining, the fourth one is out. When the fourth one is out, means anantanu bandi krodh man maya lobh is out, means almost all my anger, deceit, ego, greed are gone. 99% are gone. Only teeny tiny amount of remaining in the three different forms. So what it says over here, it shows inclination of aversion and attachment at the different stages of Gunsthana. On the first Gunsthana, intense anger, deceit, ego, greed are present. On the fourth spiritual development stage, teeny tiny amount of anger, deceit, ego, greed are remaining. And at fifth spiritual stage, even further refinement occurs within me. And sixth and seventh stage, only teeny tiny amount, so minuscule that is as good as there are none present. So I have anger, deceit, ego, greed, or inclinations of attachment and aversion occurring in a different intensity in different stages of spiritual developmental stage. Inflow and bondage element understanding occurs in this night. Now I understand fully how the karma comes to me, how karma gets bonded within me. I have a pretty good idea about those things. Right now, remember, right now we all have pretty good idea, but it's a indirect idea we have. When you have, one has a experiencing of the soul, then he directly knows how the bondage occurs, how the inflow of karma occurs, and everything. So he has pretty good idea with these things. Now, what happens if I don't accept this night? If I don't accept influence of attachment, etc., in my present mode, I can say I don't have rag and dvesh within me at all. I don't accept it, nothing. Then there is no need to be righteous. Then there is no need to be a religious person. If I don't have rag dvesh, then why should I become religious? Religious means to remove rag dvesh. But if I don't believe that rag dvesh is there within me, there is no need to be religious person. Then the discourses given by the omniscient Lord and our revered monks for the path of salvation will be useless. Now, we have to have a little bit explanation in this bullet that when we talk so much about absolute point of view, absolute point of view means I'm the soul. I'm pure, everlasting soul. I was pure before, I'm pure now, I'll be pure in future. The karma occurring to me karma are separate things. Karma are matter. I can't do anything to the matter. Matter can't do anything to me. So that kind of absolute point of view teaches us. But at the same time, we should be aware that from conventional point of view, karma do come to me, gets attached to me, gives fruition to me, and I join with those karma fruition. Those things are also occurring within me. If I take only absolute point of view consideration, and I just do not depend, do not accept conventional point of view, then this fourth bullet occurs. It means I am getting confused. I have a wrong notion because I only believe in absolute point of view, but I don't accept convention point of view. To be a to be an equanimity, a person has to accept both the conventional point of view and absolute point of view. He has to know that I am the eternal, pure soul substance from absolute point of view, but at the same time, in my present mode, I have a rag and dvesh too, and I have to remove them too. So both the understanding has to be there. If I take only one understanding of absolute point of view alone, that's wrong. If I take only convention point of view belief, that is also wrong. I have to understand both in absolute, both in a proper perspective, and that's what we are doing right now. That's exercise we are going through right now to make sure that we understand all this thing appropriately. So that becomes that what happened. How to accept it? How do I accept this Naya? What happens? Alteration from natural state occurs within me, and I am responsible for it. Remember, natural state is a pure, eternal, true nature of the self, immutable, constant, never changing. That is my true self. But at the same time, there are alterations occurring from the natural state, occurring in my mode because of me. Not because of you, not because of her, not because of him. It's occurring because of me. With my own liking, I'm doing those alterations. And this night teaches that I am responsible for this alteration. Alien objects are not important. The karma fruition occurs here, but karma fruition has no brain. They have no speech. They have no way to attract me. I get attracted myself. I get attracted myself, and that's why I end up with this problem. So I have to take responsibility for me, that I am responsible for my misdeed. There is presence of course, there is presence of nimit, means the instrumental cause is present. The karma fruition is acting as an instrumental cause. But with my weakness, I get joined with them. It's my problem. So I have to accept the fact. I had to take responsibility. I have to say, buck stops at me. I am the problem. I'm responsible. And if I'm the problem, I'm the solution too. So I am responsible for my own weakness. Now, to accept that my fault are due to me only. I am the problem. I'm the reason. I'm the creation of creating this trouble. So when I accept my fault and say that karma are not responsible for it. Remember, let's say that today's class is quote unquote little difficult. Then one may say, you know what, my gnana and karma are in fruition. That's why I don't understand. Of course, you are not going to say that, because you understand pretty well that everything happens because of us, because of me, and karma are only instrumental cause. So now, instead of blaming karma, I will start taking responsibility upon me and say, I am the problem. not the karma. For example, let's say that the karma fruition occurs, bad karma fruition occurs, and it gives a incurable disease to a person, so much that he or she is going to die. This is a situation. Karma fruition occurred, bad karma fruition occurred, and it's going to give me demise. I have a month to live, 6 weeks to live, week to live, whatever. Now, at that point, I can decide myself what I want to do. Do I want to really cry over, or whatever time is left for me as a human being, and I try to look for solace in my soul and try to get experiencing of my soul, try to get samyak darshan, try to remain in equanimity as much as I can. Can I do that? Karma fruition didn't do. Karma fruition gave me situation, but I decided, no, I'm going to be very strong within me. I'll take care of myself. Or other side of the coin, well, I may start crying about it, why it's happening to me, oh my God, my end is coming, and I become so depressed and so frustrated. Instead of dying in 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 2 months, I may die now practically. So it is in my hand. Trigger is in my hand to accept the fruition or not to accept it. And I have to become stronger within me. And actually, when the good times are like that, like these are occurring in front of us, when the health is good, our 5 senses are working, mind is working, there is no Alzheimer, no other problem going on. I don't have to worry about earning money and everything. It keeps on coming and all the things. So, and in the good time, I have to make decision. Who am I? What is my real nature? What should I do? And at that time, when the bad time comes, then this knowledge will stand in front of us. Knowledge will help us out to remain detached from the fruition of the karma. So I am the problem. My faults are due to me only. Karma are not responsible for it. So that kind of things when I do, that means I have accepted this now very well. Now, when I accept, then I have to discard also. When I'm going to go in the spiritual ladder up and up and up, then I have to discard also this now. How will I be able to discard this now? Even the influence of attachment, etc., occurs within me, but at the time I know it's not my true nature. They are not my inherent nature. They're transient in nature. They remain for certain time only, and then they dissipate. They are occurring as a result of karma being the instrumental cause. Remember, instrumental cause is told to be instrumental cause only when I join in them. Otherwise, they are not called instrumental cause. So I join with my weakness. So I'm responsible. But this is my transient nature. I'm the eternal, pure soul substance, immutable soul substance. And the transiency is not my nature. When I understand that part, when I don't blame it to karma, and I understand that this is transient nature, it's my fault, it should not occur within me, and I have to go away from it. So, they're not my inherent inclination of attachment, are not my inherent nature. They're occurring as a result of karma being instrumental cause. Of course, I now become aware that modes are also occurring within me. Sure, I know it. Modes are occurring within me, but they're transient in nature because they last only one samay, and I'm the eternal pure nature of the soul. When I accept that fact, that means I have thrown away this upcharit sadbut vyavar nahi. That's where I came. Now, what do I get benefit out of it? One becomes indifferent towards the objects of senses because now I have no interest with them. One stops blaming others for his own misdeed. Because you did not help me, that's why something went wrong. No, I start taking blame on myself. I stop blaming others. One ends up taking responsibility for his own misdeeds. Whatever wrong thing I'm doing is because of me only, not because of you. Now I know the real reason for me to be unhappy. Why I'm unhappy? Because of me. Why I'm unhappy? Because of me, because I am joining in the fruition of the karma. I'm not supposed to join there. If I don't join, I don't become unhappy. So now I found out the reason for my unhappiness. I made the diagnosis of myself. Now I know that I have the diagnosis. Now the cure is within me. Why? Why am I unhappy? Because I join in the fruition of karma. How can I be happy? If I I detach from the fruition of karma, then I'm going to be happy. So now I found out reason of happiness. I found out what was unhappiness giving me, and I can progress further. So I know real reason for me to be unhappy, and that is because of me only, with my rag and dvesh. Associated things are not reason for my misery. Remember, you have one can have a house and car and money. That is occurring because of fruition of the old karma. Okay, I don't have to be egoistic with those things. It's there. That's it. I don't have to have attachment with them. The motive behind knowledge for intention of attachment and aversion occurring within me is to find out how to remove them. Now I make diagnosis that I am unhappy because of me only, so I can become happy because of me only. No alien objects or any other person is responsible for my misery. So simply by knowing this Naya alone, we are now taking responsibility on ourselves and not to blame others. Having said that, now we are going to go to the Anupcharit Sadbut Vyavarnai. If you don't mind, I can take 10 minutes to finish this one. Hopefully you don't mind because we started late today, and it was my fault that we started late. Sorry. Okay. So now we are coming to Anupcharit Sadbut Vyavarnai. Remember, in the Vyavarnai, there are 4 parts, and now we are coming to the 4th one. We finished 1, we finished 2, we finished 3. Now we are coming to the understanding for the 4th one. What is that one? Let me make it big. Customs. Okay. Anupcharit Sadbut Vyavarnai. Anupcharit means literal, empirical standpoint of view expressing difference between virtue and virtuous one. And we'll define those things. Difference between the pure mode and the substance, or pure attribute and substance. So this one shows the difference between the attribute and modes versus the substance. Substance is over here. Their attributes are separate and modes are separate. So this partial point of view shows those differentiations. Anupcharit means literal. Sadbut means pure synthetic. Vyavar means empirical. And Nai means partial point of view, partial scriptural knowledge. What happens here? What's the subject? Now, remember, in the previous one, we said Audaik Bhav and Kshayak Bhav was a subject. Audaik means karma fruition, and Kshayak means partial intensity of fruition of karma. That was a subject. Over here is a Kshayak Bhav is a subject. Wow, something new came up now. What is Kshayak Bhav? Kshayak Bhav, that means here is a karma fruition. This is a karma fruition occurs over here. and usually I join with them. But now I make myself so strong that I'm not joining in the fruition of this karma. So this karma, they just disappear. They just dissipate. When they dissipate, that is called karma kshay. Kshay means to dissipate. Karma dissipating is called kshay. Now, when karma dissipates, there is no fruition of karma here. What happens to me now? Remember, until now, there was karma fruition and I was joining. Karma fruition and I was joining. Karma fruition, I was joining. This is happening since time infinite. Now this karma got dissipated by themselves. So now I said, wait a second. I don't have to look at the karma fruition because I'm the true nature of the soul. My pure soul is with me. So now I direct my attention to the eternal soul substance. Actually, reverse happens. When me as a soul substance, me as a soul substance decide not to join in the karma fruition and now to have go towards myself. For example, what's the nature of the sugar? Sugar's nature is to give sweetness no matter what. It gives sweetness thousands of years back. It's giving sweetness now. It will give sweetness in the future. Wherever it is, it will give sweetness. That's the real nature of the sugar. So same way, my real nature is to get engrossed in my innate state. That's my real nature. But instead, when this karma fruition, I was just getting joined with them. That was my deluded state I was doing it. But now I realized and I started looking into my innate state. When I'm looking into my innate state, this karma, they kind of dissipates by themselves, and now I'm engrossed within myself. That's called kshayik bhav. Kshayik bhav means I'm getting engrossed in my true nature of self, in short. So that's the subject of this Naya. What it says, it shows the nature of the subject by its differentiation between virtue and virtuous one. Means this Naya says, okay, now you are looking within. Now you are looking within, you are not looking at the karma fruition, you are looking within. What is there within? I'm looking at the house from outside. Oh, this house is good. This house is not good. This house is old. This house is new. This house is whatever. Different types of houses, I saw it. But what is there in a given house? When I enter in that given house, then I find out that the bedrooms are there, bathrooms are there, living rooms are there, family rooms are there, kitchen is there, study room, all kind of things are present in that house. Similarly, when I enter into the soul, house of soul, then I find out that, oh, there is a soul as a substance, and that infinite attributes are there, and each attribute keeps on transforming time to time. So these kind of things I find it out. So this Naya specifically, this Naya, the Anupcharit Sadbut Vyavahar Naya, what does it do? It shows the difference between the substance and the attribute. Substance and attribute, it shows the difference between them. So it shows differentiation between virtue and virtuous one. Means it shows knowledge attribute is separate from the soul substance. Perception attribute is separate from the soul substance. Conduct attribute is separate from the soul substance. Faith attribute is separate from the soul substance. Even though the knowledge, perception, faith, conduct, etc., infinite attribute, they have indivisibility with the soul substance. They cannot be separated out. But this Naya specifically makes division, artificial division, to show me this is the knowledge attribute. This knowledge attribute can be in the 5 different forms. It could be in the Matignan. Matignan could be in a 340 divisions could be there. Sutagnan can have 12 divisions. Udignan has a 5 divisions. Manaparegnan can be having 2 divisions. Kevagnan has one. So this kind of division, it artificially creates divisions and show us for our understanding. Because our understanding is limited, because I can't understand the indivisible soul substance. So Acharya Bhagavan says, okay, I'm going to divide them for your understanding purpose. So this Naya specifically divides those indivisible soul and knowledge. It just gives division and explains to me. Soul and faith, it's indivisible, it shows division, it shows to me. So this is the function of that Naya. It shows lakshan, lakshya bhed. Lakshan means the characteristics or attribute. Lakshya means a soul substance. So it shows the difference between those three. For example, knowledge is the attribute of the soul. Perception is an attribute of the soul. Faith is an attribute of the soul. All those change, all this division in the indivisible thing, when it creates, that is because of this Naya. Why? Because I cannot, my knowledge is so dull that I cannot understand the indivisibility of the things. For example, let's say that I went to a party today, and then I enjoyed the food so much. So when I met you people on the conference, and I said food was great, food was great, food was great. But then you say, what do you mean by great? Can you please tell us what is great means? I don't understand great means what. So now I start dividing that greatness of the food that I enjoyed. I start dividing. Well, there was a bread was there. It was a very sweet bread. There was a nice curry was there. There was a rice was there, and there was whatever different parts of the different parts of the food. I kept on describing, which in fact, when I enjoyed, I felt great about it. That was indivisibility. But to explain to you, I had to divide them to tell you each thing separately. So this is because of that. This Naya does the job. What is it? Eternal true nature of the soul is full of grandeur. Trikali Dhruv Atmani andar Vaibhav che. And that grandeur belongs to me. That greatness belongs to me. It has no, and that grandeur has no relationship with the karma in this state at all. Karma are already gone. I'm the true state over here. So there is no karma sapeksha, means there is no relationship with the karma at all. It's a karma nirapek state. It's not karma sapek state. This Naya shows the characteristic of nature of the soul with its indivisible, pure, infinite attribute. This Naya gives me, this Naya pulls me within and says, come on, here is a soul substance. There is a happiness sit over here. And how this happiness is there, I'll explain to you with division with of the indivisible things. I will make the division explain to you. So that's what he's trying to do. What happens here? Pure nature of the eternal soul is there with its own grandeur. There is no karma relationship. There is no relationship to any alien objects at all. I am glowing because of me alone. In this Naya, appropriate knowledge about the self and the alien beings occurs. With this Naya, one ends up knowing the true nature of the knowledge, faith, conduct, etc. For leaning against the eternal individual soul substance, one has to take refuge in different attributes like knowledge, faith, conduct, bliss, vitality. This is the path to salvation. Means all these attributes are within me in the indivisible form, but I cannot understand or I cannot explain to you in the indivisibility. And so I have to create the division. In Apurva, in 28th stanza, Krupali Dev wrote down, Je pad Sri Sarvagne Dityu Gnanama Kahi Sakya Nai Te Pan Sri Bhagavan Jo. Whatever even Bhagavan experience his inner self, but there are no words to express that inner self in the indivisible pattern. So they have to make division to explain to me. I went on vacation. It was lots of fun, lots of fun, lots of. But what was the fun? Lots of fun. But what was it? Describe, describe. So now that whole fun enjoyment I had it. Now I had to divide into pieces. Food was great. The hotel was great. The atmosphere was great. Weather was great. River was good. Mountains. So all those things I had to divide for that indivisible experience I had it. Over here, how do I accept it? Attraction about the alien things disappears completely. Now I have no relationship with any alien objects at all. I'm not even looking at the fruition of karma at all. Fruition of karma has dissipated. Now I'm remaining alone and I'm within myself. I'm looking at my own grandeur state, which is free from any alien objects association. I experience my infinite attributes there within. How do I discard it? Grandeur was shown for purpose of manifesting in one's mode. This grandeur was shown for the purpose of manifesting in my own mode. One has to have his own personal effort to intensify, to manifest his grandeur and true nature in the world. Now, I am full of grandeur. I am full of happiness. When do I express all those things within me? When I direct my faith to the eternal soul substance. When I do that, and even those division of the attribute, I make them secondary in my understanding. And I look into my eternal soul substance. That's all my narrow aim that I direct my attention to. That means I have discarded this now also. Because it just ultimately I have to go to primary abstract comprehensive state. Nirvikalp dasha means experiencing the indivisibility of all the attribute with the soul in my self-experiencing phase. And when that happens, that means this now is already non-existent, because now I'm having the experiencing of my true self occurs, and then there is no divisions within. And at that time, I have discarded this now. Benefit of knowing this one, last thing, one's attention is focused only on the true nature of the self, and he even does not consider the differentiation of the infinite attribute. He considers infinite attribute and the soul substance as indivisible. Remember when we talked about 6, 7, 8, 9th stanza, when we did Samaysar 9th stanza, no, 8, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th stanza. Then it said that to explain from one entity to the other entity, divisions of attributes are made. But at the same time, speaker also knows that these attributes are indivisible form, and at the same time listener also understands that those attributes which have been explained in the divisional form, they are indivisible. We have gone through that 10 stanza in detail, so we know that part. So now I don't consider I consider only myself, and I don't consider even the differentiation of the attribute. His sole aim is to undivided, eternal, indivisible, immutable, eternal state of the soul, unique soul substance. He has now very extremely narrow vision, narrow focus. This may explain the infinite attribute within the soul substance, as well as explains the manifestation of the pure modes, but at the same time it says they are indivisible with the soul substance. So these are the things that I understand from this 4 Naya that we have talked about. First one was Upcharit Asadbhut Vyavarni. Second one was Anupcharit Asadbhut Vyavarni. Third one is Upcharit Sadbhut Vyavarni. Fourth is Anupcharit Sadbhut Vyavarni. So these are the way. Gradually, from I'm going away from my alien objects of the universe, that this is my house, this is my phone, this is my money, this is my harbor, this is my family. I'm going away from that. Second phase, body is not mine. I have gone from that. Third one, even the rag dvesh occurring within me, they are not mine. And fourth one, even the division of the attributes occurring within me, they are not my true state. So these are the 4 levels that we pass through. And ultimately we come to the eternal soul substance. And so it just, each Naya directs us to this thing. So each Naya has its own significance, and it brings us to there. So now we have to do, next week we have to try to finish 5, 6, 7, 8. So that way we will have a basic understanding of the Vyavarne and Nishchane, and thereafter we'll be able to proceed to the 11th stanza. Any questions so far? Yes.
I have an idea. I don't know, maybe you can put it to a group vote, or you can tell us what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Could you, because before you went away, we did briefly discuss the 4 Nishchenes.
Yeah.
How about we go over this spreadsheet? You send us your other spreadsheet on Nishchene.
Mm-hmm.
And between now and next Tuesday, we'll review it ourselves, and we can start on Gatha 11 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think, but because see, remember, I know you are getting eager. I know that. But remember, in Gatha 11, even after knowing this one, it takes you much more detail inside the soul. And so, if we don't have proper understanding of all these 8 Nayas, 4 Vyavar and 4 Nishchay, it sometimes we may end up getting confused in the 11th stanza, because 11, what we are talking, I can assure you, no word will come there. It is so microscopic thing that Acharya Bhagwan takes us deep inside, that if we don't have solid foundation of this understanding, we'll totally get lost. So I know you are getting a little, you want to go ahead, but at the same time, I would like to make sure that we understand this part. So we can try to finish 5, 6, 7, 8 next time. This is the Asuddha Nishchane, Ekde Suddha Nishchane, and Param Suddha Nishchane. We hopefully will be able to finish in one class, and then we'll start with the 11. Because 11 will be much more complicated Gatha, because as I said, 11th is called the Jain, it is called Pran of the Jain philosophy. It's called heart of the Jain philosophy. So that's why we have to have fairly good understanding. And you already have the spreadsheet, so at least we can just go through all the, it is our homework that we can go through the Asuddha Nishchane, Ekdes, Suddha Nishchane and Param Suddha Nishchane. We can start, we do the homework, so that we will be able to go a little bit this Vyavarne was important to have great footing, this Nishchaya is kind of, it's going to be, it will flow relatively easily, you know. So bear with me for one more class, okay?
Kirinakal, કોઈ એક્ઝામ્પલ છે આ દરેક
Yeah.
જે આપણે કર્યું દ્રષ્ટાંત એની અંદર કોઈ દ્રષ્ટાંતથી એને લિંક થઈ શકે એવું કોઈ છે દ્રષ્ટાંત?
એટલે દ્રષ્ટાંતમાં જે આપણે શું કહ્યું કે જો પહેલામાં શું કહ્યું કે પહેલો જે નય હતો જે આપણે નય લીધો ઉપચરિત અશુદ્ધ વ્યવહાર નહીં, એટલે કે કાર મારી નથી, ઘર મારું નથી, સ્ત્રી પુત્ર મકાન મારા નથી, તો એ ધેટ ઇઝ ધેટ એ નય તમને એ સમજાવે છે. જ્યારે અહીંયા આવે અનુચરિત અસદબુદ્ધ વ્યવહાર નયમાં તો કે શરીર મારું નથી એમ સમજાવ્યું તમને, એ સમજણ આપી. પછીમાં કહું કે ઉપચરિત સદબુદ્ધમાં રાગ દ્વેષ મારા નથી એમ સમજાવ્યું, અને છેલ્લે ગુણ ભેદ પણ મારામાં નથી એમ સમજાવ્યું. એટલે આત્માની અનુભૂતિ માટેના જે ભેદ વિજ્ઞાન છે એ ભેદ વિજ્ઞાનની ગ્રોસ ફોર્મ માંથી ફાઇનલ ફોર્મ સુધી આપણને લઈ જાય છે. અને સંજયભાઈ, this is it's so intricate that there are no example, no nothing coming, because there is no story or anything else coming, because this is the crux of the whole thing. If we understand this part, then we don't need to do anything else, you know.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so Ankit, hang on for one more class and we'll be able to start that one, okay? I'm also getting antsy to start. I mean, but you know, it's very long stanza. There are about 100 pages that the Gurudev has written, and so we'll have tons and tons and tons of slides to go through and everything, but we'll try to make it hopefully understandable thing, okay? All right. Any other questions? No. Okay, we'll do the closing, okay?
Yeah, we can do the closing.
जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ डोक. नौबा नमो कामद्र. Mitchangukram.
Chamidakram.
Jai Janara, thank you.
Nichamidokam.